and then when someone says that you've won a comp, it's a bit of a funny feeling. So I think that was the initial thing, and then absolute joy, I guess, after that.
A mixture of a few emotions, relief, ecstasy. What do you feel?
Yeah, it's hard to put it into words, I guess. It's not relief. We just, we knew we were ready. We knew we'd worked hard all year, and we just had to do it. When it was a bit awkward there for the first 20, we weren't playing our footy, and we sort of got back into it and lost it in the second half, and then we found it really clear in sort of the last sort of 25 minutes. We got back to our footy, and that's what won us the game. So I don't know, just there's so many people that put in so much effort into our club, and people try and put it down to a player or two or coaches or whatever, but it's just there's a lot of people that work so hard over the last few years to get it to this point where we were right this year, and a lot of us have come in and we've benefited from that. So it's just so pleasing for a lot of Roosters people.
How proud are you of this group of players?
Yeah, very. It's easy. A lot of people. 16 clubs put together a team every year, and there's lots of good players in lots of different teams, and we copped a bit of a bagging at the start of the year for some of our recruitment, and they're often the star factor. We thought that was going to take over the team, but every player to a T, no matter whether they were the highest paid or the part-timers, they bought into the team was the most important, and that the club bought into it. And people didn't see that for a while. We knew it for quite a while, and then I think you guys started to see it during the season. And people just want to focus on the big plays, but we worked hard for each other all year, and that's the most pleasing thing. We know we're a club that's seen as quite a wealthy club, seen as a bit of the high flyers, but we've been built on a really hard-working foundation, and that was our team. We were really clear with who we were at the Roosters, and that was our team. We knew we had some good players, but we wanted to work hard for each other, as our club has.
When you recruit big-name players like that, how much pressure did it put on yourself to get the results?
Oh, look, a few people said that to me. This is going to be more pressure on you, but it wasn't. Like I was excited. Someone said you're going to coach, Sonny Bill, and then all of a sudden we get Jenko in January, and then all of a sudden we get Luke O'Donnell, and people are saying, well, it's going to build pressure on you. But as a coach, you want the tools to win a comp, and we thought we were going to build over a couple of years to that, but we've done it this year. So I didn't feel that. I felt excitement about coaching these guys, and so did our coaching staff. And we knew we had to coach well. If we didn't coach well, we knew these group of players were ready to win a comp. We just weren't sure whether us coaches were ready or not. So we had to work hard during the year, and I'm glad that we did that.
When did you think?
I haven't asked him I said after the season, but it's only been 45 minutes, so give us a little bit more time.
When do you think you can win that? When stage in the season?
I thought we were good after, I think we lost in Canberra, and we came back and beat Canterbury 38-0 or 36-0, and I thought the reaction that we got out of the guys after a loss was outstanding, the refocus, and sometimes it takes a couple of weeks. So I knew these guys learned quickly, and I knew in the next couple of weeks after that we were a pretty good team. And then a lot of talk was just before we played Manly at Brookie, people said, well, we hadn't played a top-line team. They were saying, well, you've beaten all the easy beats and all that, but you'll find it harder in that period because we had, I think, Manly, North Queensland, and then Melbourne. And we lost to Melbourne, but we had some tough games. We went to Brookie and won. We went up to North Queensland and won, and then we just lost to Melbourne. And about then, I knew we were a chance. And I think in that bye, like I said, us coaches talked about these guys are ready. We're going to make sure we're ready. And that was about 12 games in.
How do you make sure you're ready though as a coach? How do you do it?
It's about us working hard. It's not about changing anything. We just knew we had to be on our game. We had to look after each other, work with each other, we had to make sure that this was right from the medical team to the physical performance to the coaching. We knew we had to work as one. We had to work hard, spend a lot of time together, meet a lot, and be as one, because we knew these guys were ready. So we felt like the pressure was on us, and we were excited about that.
Robert, and then tonight you had to come back twice to win the game.
Yeah, that's what I didn't think it was. Yeah, it wasn't. We didn't play our style of footy. We ran away from the fight a bit in the first 20, where we've taken the fight to most teams. That's been our formula, and so we clawed our way back in. A few guys got off track. They clawed their way back in the first half. Went in 8-6. Then we just got rolled from the kickoff again and went out to 18-8. And we had a choice there. We could either pack it up and keep playing the way we were playing, or we got back really quickly to going right through the middle of them, and guys put their hand up, and that's when we got back in front. So I thought it certainly wasn't our prettiest game, but to come back twice in a grand final takes some courage. You can easily lose your way in a grand final under pressure, but we didn't. We kept at it. Came back twice.
Sorry, just on Sonny's first half probably wasn't his happiest 40
Yeah,
minutes.
and that was, Sonny threw a couple of too many passes, and he knew it. So at the end of the first half, what did he do? He got back into running the ball again, and it got us back into the game again. And then when we needed in that second half, he was one of the guys that got us going through the middle of the ruck, and he came out the other end and got us back in front eventually.
There've been some reports that Sean Dow played on with a serious injury, is that right?
I just talked to him then. I looked at him at half time and I saw his jaw was a little bit out to the side. I didn't want to ask him. He looked at me and he said he didn't want to tell me if there was anything wrong, so he just crossed his fingers and hoped it'd be all right. And I went and saw him then, and it doesn't look good, but I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Even he doesn't want to ask, but it definitely doesn't look good.
Trent, are you disappointed that a member of your team didn't win the clutch at Chile?
No, not at all. I thought Daly was awesome. I thought he had a really good game. I thought it was disappointing the crowd at that time. I thought he was a courageous player and he deserved to win it as well. I thought there was a lot of good players from both sides, and so yeah.
Mimi, on Skidsy, did you have any idea he was going through that in the second half?
Didn't have no clue at all. It's the first I've heard of it, so he didn't complain once out there at all. We know he's a tough player, but he didn't have any inkling that he had an injury. He just fought on and got the job done for us.
What does this win mean to you compared to the 2002?
Oh, this is pretty special. Obviously to be captain of the boys and such a great club. I was only a young kid back in 2002, so you probably savour this one a bit more. You enjoy it a little bit more. Yeah, we've worked hard all season. We had the belief that we could do something special in this competition, but we continue to work hard, and it's been right across the park. What Robert said, from the coaching staff to the other staff, the 17 that run out each week, we base our game on hard work, and pretty proud of the boys.
What did you say when you went down 18-8 to the group?
It's blind line there, just the calm down, not the panic. We trust our game plan, so just don't panic. Keep to the plan, stick to the plan, because we know our plan works. So just keep calm and get back to what we do, what we know best, and that's what we did.
Mimi, you took the pass from James Maloney that's going to be debated a fair bit over the next week. What did you think of it, even when you watched it on the big screen?
Oh mate, I thought it was sweet. I thought he didn't even see me, to be honest. I was screaming that hard, and he had his eyes to the left the whole time, and just popped out at the last minute and gave me the ball. So yeah, no, I was pretty lucky there.
Trent, given the way that Manly played against South in the second half last week, are you kind of concerned when that I went over?
No, I wasn't. Again, we've been lucky as a team. We haven't been concerned about oppositions. We've been concerned about ourselves. We know if we get our game on, we'll be okay. And it was the same. 18-8's not good to look at on the scoreboard so quickly, but it was only 2 tries. We've done that very quickly in the past. We've scored 2 tries. but we weren't going to get the tries before we worked out how to stay calm and get back on track. So, yeah, it was a credit to him.
Trent, can you take us through Boyd Cordner and Luke O'Donnell?
Yeah, Boyd's, you know, just to give you an idea, like it's usually a 10 to 12 week injury. But Boyd was clear with the surgeon, and we thank the surgeon. He had a plan of 7 weeks, and he almost got there last week. I didn't say it, but if Sunnyville didn't play last weekend, Boyd was going to play, even though he probably wasn't quite ready. But we were going to put him in, so he had his boots on game day, and then this week he trained. I think it was grand final on Wednesday for Boyd. The way he trained, it went a bit too hard, and he was a bit too excited. But we knew he was ready to play then. Luke, obviously just got over the line and ended up re-injuring his hammy there tonight. But he got out his stint. He re-injured with about I think 7 or 8 minutes before I got him off. So it was touch and go. He worked hard to get there, and it was I think it was 3 centimetres in the end, and he ended up getting there. So I thought we needed him at different times. We had some great guys waiting there that didn't play, but you don't know. You want your best team on the park, and that's what we got in the end.
With Luke, was it a tear?
Yeah, last week. Yeah, I think it was. They didn't have an RI, and it was something 3 centimetres by 1 centimetre or something.
Mini, I guess a few years back, you know, looked like you were going to be forced to retirement with injury. It must be great to sort of sit here at a 2-time premiership winner.
Yeah, mate, I obviously worked hard on my body to get back, and I always believed that I could come back and play some good football. Yeah, it's makes this all the more special, I suppose. Obviously, it's been a long road to get back, but I think of that not as I think it made me obviously a better person, really. So I don't think of it as something that was awful in my career. Everyone goes through peaks and troughs, obviously, and injuries, and I just look at it at a stage there where I learned a bit more about myself and where I was at, and worked hard to get back to playing some football.
What about your future?
I'll be running on next year, mate.
It's hard, like it's what you're asking there about Mini. You know, everyone's from within the club and around sort of the league. It's Mini's fullback days are done, but we won the comp based on Mini being our fullback, and defensively just he held our line together all year. And then I don't want anybody other fullback carrying out of our end the way that he carries the ball. But a lot of people would just sort of peter away or get some doubts, but Mini's too tough for that. He just decides that no, I'm doing this. I believe in myself, and he just keeps fighting. And he's won a comp as a captain. It's outstanding.
Maybe the coach has been really impressive all year in everything. Have you got any weaknesses or any areas he needs to improve?
It's hard to pick a weakness, isn't it?
It's a lot.
I'll have to ask his wife.
Trent, just on the future, like with Sonny, he obviously is not on an insignificant salary. How you must need a decision sooner rather than later so you can plan your cap and your roster for next year.
Yeah, but after it gets past the point in a season, if he decides not to stay, that's a huge hole that you can't fill anyway. You can't find that type of a player at this time of year usually. So it will be, but hey, that's a risk you take with a player like that. If he, we had to take a risk in getting him back here. That Nick Politis took a risk that no one else would. A lot of people would shy away from it. And he's proved a lot of people wrong this year, and we've just decided to back him and say we'll do the same again. He can make a huge difference to a team, so we weren't going to fill that spot without him making that decision.
You played attacking defence tonight.
Yeah.
How'd you rate his performance?
Oh, I think Toops, people don't. Toops played 5 games of under 20s. That's how many games he played of under 20s, and then sort of couldn't make it, and Peter O'Sullivan picked him up, and And then you think, well, he'll be good because he's athletic and that, and he's good in the air. But then he'll get, you know, he'll have a trough during the year. He'll play some good games and then he'll fall away. Those two kids, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Tupu, they've just been consistent all year. You know, most kids are good in attack as well, but then can't get the defensive stuff. But they're one of the reasons. It's so hard on the wing to defend. And Tupu and Roger, they've just, it's unbelievable how consistent two kids can be for such a tough position.
And what about that Janko try, one of the road grand final tries now?
Yeah, mate. I thought the ball was going long, and Janko just slid in there with his speed and got the ball down. So, yeah, pretty happy at that stage. It's getting towards the end of the game there, so put us in front by a couple of tries.
Do you know whether he suffered an injury? Is it that visible?
Yeah, he's not good. He's really, he's got, I don't know, he's got really stiff neck, and he's a bit scratchy in the sheds at the moment.
So is his elbow okay?
No, it's not his elbow. He must have hit his head or his neck. He got hyperextended, and he's he looks like he's walking around very stiff. So.
What did you make of the penalty try decision?
I don't know the rules well enough on the penalty try. What it has to constitute, it has to be a try. I don't know. Look, Orbo shouldn't have been. There was two decisions to make. It was a penalty try, or Orbo gets sent to the bin for 10 and they get a penalty. And it could have been either one. So I think it was pretty close on both.
Was it a big call? You guys could have taken it the wrong way and could be responded the way you had to.
Yeah, I was actually, the first try was more controversial than that try. I thought, look, I could understand why they'd do that. You know, I would have been very disappointed if I was Manly on that one. The first one was, you know, they've been playing obstructions all year on the lead runners, and Mitchell Pearce gets taken out, and they don't go to review that. That's been in the rules all year. So that was the one I was disappointed in. That one I could understand.
Thanks, ladies and gents. People going back.